garden friends. I am out here in the garden with Miss Jessica and we are going to do our activity for this week. So I have my science notebook. I'd like you to get your science notebook out and I want you to open up to the page where you made your KWL chart last week. So last week we made a KWL with what we know and what we want to know about leaves. And so the first step I'm going to do today is I'm going to fill in some stuff I learned last week about leaves. So one of the things I wanted to know were what are the parts of the leaf? And I got to do 3 different anatomy sheets with you last week. We had one for the TK through 1st graders, and then the 2nd and 3rd graders had another one, and the 4th and 5th graders had another one. So I got to really learn lots about the anatomy or the parts of the leaf. So I'm going to write that down in my learned section. Let's see. We didn't really talk about why do they fall and why do they change color this past week. So maybe that's something I can do a video on in the middle of the week and we can talk about that process. Because this week we are going to focus on learning more about photosynthesis. So let's see, that was one of the things I put in my no column last week was that they make food by photosynthesis. Today we're going to go into how exactly that process works. So what else do I know? So now I can add the anatomy of a leaf to my no column because I learned about the anatomy of the leaf last week.
Do you want to hold that up so we can see?
Sure.
You did such a nice job with the columns. Look at that. Oh, great. Thank you.
And let's see, I want to know, how does photosynthesis work exactly? I'm going to add that to my want to know. Oh gosh. I like to use a pencil with a good eraser because I often write the wrong letters. How does photosynthesis, can you say that word with me? Because it's kind of a big one. Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis.
How does that work? Okay, I want to know how photosynthesis works, and I want to know more about like the skin of the leaves. We learned the word epidermis last week, or at least I think the 4th and 5th graders maybe learned this word. So can you say epidermis? Epidermis is a fancy word for skin. So we have an epidermis too. And if you look at a leaf, the top part of the leaf that you can see is the skin of the leaf or the epidermis of a leaf. So I want to know, what does that epidermis do for the leaf? I wonder if it plays a role in photosynthesis. And then I know that photosynthesis is the way that the leaves or the plants make food so that the plant can grow. But how does that work? I wonder, like, is it making mashed potatoes for the plant to eat? Is it creating, how does that work, right? We know it's going to the plant pulls up water and minerals from the roots. So how does it use all of those things? It's releasing oxygen and it's taking in carbon dioxide. So how does the plant use all of that? That's the photosynthesis process. So I want to know all about that. Okay, so here's my updated KWL. I added something in the learned column and then I copied that over to my know column because now for this week I know it. If you really want to make a separate KWL for this week, you can, but since we're sort of building on what we've learned about leaves, we can just use the same chart. And then here's where I added the things that I want to know. All right, so stay tuned for another video on our leaf model, but that's our KWL chart video. And I'll see you again. Thanks, garden friends.